going to continue these talks on the development of character in children and how we go about developing that character. You'll remember that good character is just the aggregate or the accumulation, or sometimes I've even called it the symphony of habituated good behaviors, habituated virtues, which when in the aggregate create character. And that's why we want to focus on building it up, because virtue is something that you can grow, you can cultivate. And with children, you can get stronger and stronger until it becomes a part of how you live your life. That's your character. And remind you again of this big picture, why we talk about character and not just about social needs of children or emotional needs of children. That's all fine and it's all helpful. But what character education talks about, it's aspirational, it's inspirational. It's pointing children to lead a life in which they're developing whatever talents, whatever skills, whatever abilities they have to their furthest extent. So lifelong, you're being introduced to higher and higher and higher planes of life. Then simultaneously, in that process of growing, you're also learning how to serve other people, how to treat other people. You know, there's a debt we all owe to the communities that we live in, whether it's our family, our extended family, our workplace, our schools. It's a part of being a human being living on a higher plane, is that you have the concerns of the people who are around you and you work to serve them if you can. It's also important that we make an emphasis on character because we're living in an age when entertainment is the end game for so many children and young people. They live for entertainment. And of course, there's no end to entertainment. No matter how much entertainment you gain, there's always something more. Now, that's not to say we don't all need entertainment. We do, but not to the point where it usurps our life and therefore we cease to reach the goals we want to reach, to help the people that we want to help. So let me begin with the first one, that at least this is how we define virtues at Birchwood School and how I define them. There's many words to use, but we focus on a few because we're not only going to teach children about virtue or to practice virtue, but to habituate it. So we have to define it in a way that children can practice that virtue. And being the teachers or the parents, we're the coaches, we're the facilitators, we're the ones who make practice happen until these virtues grow and become habituated. So the first one is courage. And I think we all have a definition of courage. We can think of brave soldiers, brave warriors, brave diplomats, brave people of conscience who've taken a stand for something. But when we talk about courage as a practice for children, just give a little twist to the definition. Courage means a child has a goal and they recognize to achieve that goal, there is the need of sacrifice. Some price has to be paid. Of course, it can be quite small when the children are young. They want to do better in school. Maybe they cut back on their gaming, video gaming. They want to get better, be a better baseball player. Well, maybe they'll cut back on just lounging around the house and go practice swinging their bat or catching a ball. There's always some sacrifice. So you set a goal and then you identify that sacrifice. Now, it's helpful whenever we talk about virtues that there are also vices that sort of are in contrast. So someone who has goals is achieving, they're successful, they're working toward better and better and higher goals. They know how to pay a price, they know how to sacrifice. Well, the flip side is you cultivate laziness, indolence, you just have no goals, you're aimless. Not just lazy, but a dreamer. You think about things you want to do, but they never materialize. Those are the vices. And of course, if those are practiced over and over and over again, those are also going to become habits. A 16-year-old boy or girl who doesn't want to do their work, they're lazy, that didn't come out of nowhere. That is a habit that has been cultivated over time. And of course, that's why we say character development has to be intentional, because you have forces working against the development of good virtue and good character, and instead are cultivating and habituating poor behaviors, vices. So let's look at this. When we're working with our own children or children in a classroom together, we set goals. They have to be very attainable, and that's age appropriate, so that to a pretty great extent we can say they're going to be successful. If they pay the little bit of price they have to pay, they're going to attain that goal. Little children, they want to learn their multiplication tables of 2 or their multiplication tables of 5. It's manageable. You break it down to the point where, yeah, you practice this a few times, giving up your video time or giving up your game time. And 10 minutes each night, you're going to work on your multiplication tables. See, it's attainable. And then there's the encouragement. Hey, let's budget our time. Let's schedule our time. And if you forget to practice one day, then we ask, how come? What happened? How come you didn't practice? We help them think about it. That's what a person who has goals does, is they reflect on the work that they've done, where they hit it and where they didn't. You are, as the partner with the child, you're their support, you're their encouragement. You're also the one who helps them persist until they get some level of mastery, and until they overcome that little sacrifice that they have to have. Now, as children get older, they want to make a high school football team or the high school basketball team. They want to enter an aggressive mathematics track in high school, or they want to write for the school newspaper. Those are goals. But to reach them, there's skills that have to be developed. Maybe there's training involved. There's cardiovascular when it comes to sports, building up your cardiovascular system to compete well. If it's writing, then maybe you need to practice half hour every day to prepare yourself to write for the school newspaper. Again, there's a cultivation. There's a conversation that has to go on. You have to talk with your son or your daughter, or with your students. What do you want? What do you want here? You're trying to offer some range of choice where they can't be without goals. That is the worst thing you can do for kids. They've got to have goals in their life. I don't care how small they are or how large they are, but they have goals, and they're always working towards something. Even when summertime comes, I know it's a time to just have fun in many of their minds, but I always encourage my students, I encourage my own children, okay, we're going to have lots of fun this summer. I want you to have fun, but can't we have some goals also? Maybe some academic goals, maybe some goals related to our piano playing or to our violin playing, or maybe it has to do with sports, something where we are making progress. We're setting goals, we're plowing forward, we know the little bit of sacrifice that's necessary, and therefore we're growing. And of course, through that, while we're with them, encouraging them, supporting them, helping them over the humps when they don't want to do things, we're cultivating work habits, organizational skills, time management skills that allow them to learn how to pay the price to reach their goals. And of course, this is where a sense of competency comes, self-worth comes, confidence comes, because you keep succeeding. You reach one goal, okay, let's sit down with your son or your daughter. What do we do now? Or could we have more than one goal? What would you like to do? Where do you want to get better? Where do you want to become a better person? Do you want to have more friends? All these things are open for conversation. That starts it. That's what a growing person does. They're considering their environment all the time, so they can make decisions about goal setting and then the sacrifice that needs to be made. And of course, at the end of every one of these small or large goals, there is celebration. Oh, I'm so proud of you, the work you put in and the attainment you got. Oh, you work so hard at this. And there's a necessary verbal confirmation of what they already know. They already know I did this and I feel pretty good about myself. The verbal confirmation and a lot of the literature on motivation, whether intrinsic or extrinsic motivation, says the verbal reward from the people they respect who witnesses to the very feelings that they had, that they worked hard, strengthens that sense of competency and that sense of self-worth. And this is probably the best inhibitor of entering into a state of anxiety and worry and fear about things you can't measure. You're going somewhere. To have courage is to have goals again and again and again. And mom and dad and parents and teachers, it is through our partnership with them, our loving partnership, our supportive partnership, our unrelenting partnership. We're behind you. We're going to make this happen, that you're able to allow that child to have the experiences, pay a little price, and achieve. And that achievement, that goal setting, knowing the sacrifice, are the very components of cultivating courage lifelong. They're a goal-setting person. They're after things, and they know how to pay a price to get those things. And then the sense of satisfaction and the fulfillment are with them. And one more point, this also leads to what's called self-efficacy. I think this is an Albert Bandura piece of research. If I keep having success and I'm helped, my mom, my dad, my teachers help me have success again and again and again, I build up a history of who I am. I'm competent. If I have managed to reach my goals, care how high or low they were goals, and I worked at them and I got them, I begin to build a history. I'm a capable person. I can do stuff. So if something new comes down the pike, well, I've done stuff like this before. I know how to invest myself. I know how to pay a price. And so what you're doing is you're beginning to cultivate a positive outlook toward life, that hopefully when they're in their teens or older, they'll even begin to search for the meaning of their life. But it's all because this courage, this practice, this behavior has been habituated, and they're ready to take on the world. Okay, in the next video, I'll talk about self-control.